Hey guys, I'm V, English content creator for KND, and this is Hello Stranger. I'm gonna be chatting with many interesting foreigners who are living in Thailand to exchange cultures and see what they're all about. And hopefully, we can turn a stranger into a friend. My roommate for today is John, a Korean guy who has been living in Thailand for 20 years. We're gonna find out all about his Korean background and why did he get teased for working for a great company like Samsung? How big is the Suning exam really? And how has PC bangs and Jimjo bangs shaped Korean culture? And amidst all the debate, is there actually a bright side to the compulsory military conscription in Korea? I'm gonna ask my roommate that today. So stay tuned, everyone. Hello, stranger.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Nice to meet you. So, what should I refer to you? Should I call you John, Mr. John, Oppa?
You can call me John Kang Lang.
John Kang Lang.
John Kang Lang.
Oh, why
yes.
John Kang Lang?
Nowadays John and Cullen, they're really big in Thailand, right? They're shooting all these shows. They're really hot in YouTube. So my teammates call me, oh, you're fake John Cullen. So they call me John Kang Lang.
John
So,
Kang
yeah,
Lang.
I guess. Yeah, I'm John Kang Lang. Yes.
Wow, that's a great nickname. Well, but how long have you actually lived in Thailand?
Oh, I've been here since year 2002.
Wow.
So that's when the World Cup was still going on. Yeah, so that's already 22 years ago. If you're all saying this. But
And before you came to Thailand, did you go to many countries before?
no, actually, the very first country that I visited outside Korea is actually Thailand.
Thailand.
This is first.
Wow. So your experience since you've been here, like, what was it like? Have you learned the language? Do you feel like you're a part of the culture?
I mean, for now, yes. But of course, when I first came here, I had to adapt because I was still young. My identity was not too clear, right? What kind of person I am. I was a bit too young to have that identity. So it took some time for me to actually understand that I have to be part of this society and culture if I want to live here for long.
Wow. So when you were a kid, did you go to like a normal Thai school or did you go to an international school?
Luckily, I had a chance to go to international school, Ekamai International School, EIS,
yes.
in Ekamai, obviously. Yes, I went to that school.
And did you speak English with people or did friends still like try to speak Thai and stuff?
I kind of mixed between Thai and English, because some words you have to say it in Thai to have the feel into it. Sometimes, English doesn't have a certain word in Thai, for example, like greng chai. There's no other language in the world, as far as I'm concerned, like greng chai.
For sure.
Yeah.
Wow, and as like a Korean boy that first moved to Bangkok, what was it like when you were a kid? Was it like overwhelming? Was it a lot different from Korea, or did you like it like immediately?
Oh yes, like everything was a shock to me because maybe I was young too and meeting this whole different people, and I still clearly remember that when I first got off the airport and I saw a taxi driver getting onto the wrong side of the car. So I was like, oh, that's not the driver's seat. I realized, okay, Thailand has a different side. Okay, the driver's on the right. Right, but in Korea it's the opposite, right? I was like, why is taxi driver getting onto that side? So I was like, okay, it's the other side.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so nowadays, what you're doing in here in Thailand? What are you working at?
So I am working for Thai Samsung Electronics.
Wow.
Yes, Samsung is the biggest company in Korea. So yeah, obviously I'm in the mobile division, looking after a supply chain.
Wow. So tell me a bit about your path, like from going to international school here until working in Samsung. What was it like? Did you go to university for this?
Yes, I actually studied through my high school and university here.
Wow.
After graduating from Ekamai, so I went to Jula BBA.
Oh, you went to BBA?
Yes.
Oh, cool. I'm in Commerce.
Oh, Commerce. Oh, okay. I have a lot of friends in Commerce. Okay, maybe. Okay, I'm sorry. We have a generation gap. So maybe we might not have a common friend, but I'm pretty sure that I might be friends with your Lunpi.
For sure.
But yeah, after graduating from Jula, I actually had a Lunpi from Jula who is also Korean. She was working at the same
Samsung?
position, which she introduced me. So she was like, "Oh, okay, I might be leaving Samsung soon. Are you interested in this position?" So luckily, I got accepted. So
Wow.
ever since then, I've been working in Samsung for around 8 years.
Wow.
Yes.
And when you were growing up, did you think or want to work for Samsung?
Oh, that's difficult. I don't think I was actually planning to work for Samsung, but in terms of the probability, maybe it's one of the biggest companies from Korea. So I thought there was a probability, but I never thought that it's going to be Samsung.
Because you were in Thailand too, right?
Yes, yes.
Wow. And like it's almost I heard it's like a joke or like a stereotype, a meme that people like will go to work at Samsung after they graduate.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It was meme. I was bullied quite a lot.
What do you mean?
Yeah, like, so if I tell my friend like, "Yo, guess where I'm working at?" They'll be like, "Oh, Samsung." It was like a meme. Yes, definitely like a meme.
But what do Korean people think about Samsung? Like, I mean, it is the biggest company for sure, and you know everyone knows Samsung. But within Korean culture, like, do people view working in Samsung as like a good thing? Is it like something people aspire to? What's like the general idea around working at Samsung?
Oh, it's a great thing. I mean, it's a big company, and they made a few. It's one of the key companies that drove Koreans' economy from back then when there was nothing, and semiconductor and electronics. And people are proud with Samsung because we are at one of the foremost technology of things. So general perception is it's a great company. It's trying to make improvement in people's life. It's a stable place. Yeah, so I would say overall it's very positive.
And in Korea, do most people use Samsung?
I think it depends. I mean, if it's I think it depends on the product category. There are definitely a number one market share in some products, and some products they use different product. But I would say if you buy a Samsung product in Korea, the perception is you have a reliable product and good after service, and the quality is there.
For sure. And about the work culture, like, what is it like? Because it's a leading company, technology company, like, is it stressful to work there? Is everything very like structured? What is it like? Like, do you think the vibes or you know, nowadays Gen Z, new generation of workers care a lot about workplace environment. So what do you think it's like compared to maybe other corporates?
So because Samsung is my first company and one of the few companies I work for, maybe I cannot give you a precise comparison, but what I can say is, as you mentioned, it's very structured. Because it's a huge company, things have to be well structured, it has to be well systemized, and procedures are well defined. So I think it's actually a great workplace if you are actually starting as a new graduate.
Oh.
Because you learn about all those systems and processes. So when you have experience with that, then you can go anywhere and apply the similar systems and procedure to wherever you go, basically. So that's a great thing about Samsung's culture. Everything is well structured and systemized. Another culture I would say is 빨리빨리, right? Speed. 빨리빨리 means quickly, right? So Samsung is in a really dynamic market, right? Semiconductor electronics. So you really have to change fast. You really have to move
adapt
fast.
fast.
Yes, adapt fast. So the whole company put a lot of emphasis on making a fast execution and speedy adaptation. So this, I think, could also be a really good experience to have. And it's a good culture because sometimes you're under pressure because you have to deliver things in time. But when you can practice making a choice or doing work under pressure with a limited time, it gives you a good experience of making fast choices and working under pressure and while delivering it accurate and right. So that's another big part of the Samsung culture.
For sure. And I wanted to ask you because you're working here, Samsung in Thailand, right? And Samsung has headquarters probably everywhere, but the main headquarters is in Korea. Like, have you ever went to work in the Samsung in Korea, and do you know if there's any differences between like Samsung in Korea and Samsung here in terms of like the culture or just like how workflow is?
Oh, I actually never had a chance to work at HQ for a extended period of time. And Samsung, and because Samsung is a big company, every department and every division has a different vibe and environment to it. But from what I've heard from person who worked both HQ and here, I think one of the key difference that they mention is the diversity. So for example, the team that's counterpart to Thai Samsung Electronic in HQ, you can generally guess the population, right? Like age of 30 to 50, mostly a male, Korean, and their backgrounds and stuff. It's quite unified. However, Thai Samsung Electronics, on the other hand, there are so many people with so many different backgrounds. So there are much more diversification to organization. Let's say if you compare with HQ to Thai Samsung.
And do you think that affects like efficiency, or is because we're more diverse and less controlled, does it, can you still produce the same quality of work as in Korea?
Yes, but it depends on what kind of work you do. So, for example, if it's unified, it's usually easier to make a similar choice and similar objective. But on the other hand, I think the strength of Thai Samsung Electronic is in the creativity. Because it has so much diverse background and people have so many different ideas, sometimes it creates chaos, but creativity usually comes from chaos, right? So there are a lot of creativities and really brilliant new ideas, crazy new ideas in Thai Samsung Electronics, I would say.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like for the manager or like the head of Samsung Thailand, is he Korean or is he a Thai person? Or that person like that overviews like Samsung Thailand?
For now, it is Korean. He looks after the CE, the consumer electronics, and there's another head to organization which he looks after mobile division, which is like a smartphone and tablet.
Oh, when I went to the opening for the Flip at M Sphere, the guy that came out, was that the head of like the mobile devices or head of all of?
He is head of the mobile division. Yes,
I see. Wow. So do you have like direct contact with HQ much or?
Oh yeah, I talk to them every day. It is a key strength of mine because I can be delivering a right message to the right people because I'm Korean, but I understand Thai culture. I understand Thai people. So sometimes it's like indirect translation. Even if HQ give a certain direction or message, I would digest it myself and try to provide it to my Thai colleagues in a way that they will understand better without misunderstanding, I would say.
And let me ask you, like, because you are kind of this middleman, like, can you tell us what kind of is your day-to-day work? Like, what do you kind of have to do, like, for your job, for your position? And have you, like, been climbing up the ranks since the 8 years you've been in Samsung?
Yeah, definitely. I started as a senior staff. Now I'm the head of part for my team, which is supply chain management. So usually my daily works basically a supply, right? So myself and my team, we look after how much of supply are we going to plan for Thai market, given a certain market situation or certain seasonality.
For all kinds of Samsung appliances?
Yes, for mobile division.
Oh, so, for you is for mobile division?
Yes.
Okay.
So that includes a smartphone, that includes tablet, that includes watch, that includes buds. Yes.
Oh, cool. And let me ask you, like, do you think the work-life balance is pretty good?
I would say it is good.
And what do you like to do for fun? Because you're here, you're working. Like, is there still some stuff that you do, like, you know, in your free time?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the key part of my life is actually a partying, a rave. Right? So I'm Korean, so I work hard, I party hard.
So you're a big rave guy.
Yes, I used to be a bigger rave guy. I'm feeling my age now. My knee hurts when I dance. But I'm trying my best to actually still be in the rave culture.
And EDM, right?
EDM, I I think it depends on how you define EDM, but yes. Luckily, Thailand has one of the best EDM scene.
Really?
In
Is this
yeah.
like renowned in Asia?
Yeah. I mean, there are so many of my Korean colleagues who just travel to Thailand just for the rave during Songkran, during New Year. The world-class DJs, they come to Thailand. It's a really great place to visit for DJs as well.
For sure. And this is something I actually want to ask you. Like, where do you think this rave culture in Korea came from? Because when I was in the States, I had so many Korean friends and they were just like you. They loved to go to raves. And they were actually the ones that introduced me to like rave culture. And I was in like a fraternity too. And every guy that was Korean would just hit the raves every time. Like, where do you think it came from, this work hard, play hard mentality?
To be honest, I'm not sure where it came from, but as you said, Korean people, they're really hardworking. That means they need to have a compensation to the hardworking, so they can continue to work hard. And I think that is a really great soil to for a partying hard kind of. Okay, I worked really hard, so I deserve to party hard. I deserve to drink a lot. So I think it's in the Korean blood to do that.
Yeah, because like socializing is a huge part of Korean culture, right?
Yes.
Would you say like even more than in Thailand?
I think it depends. But I would say there's a commonality of people actually enjoying a beer after work together with alcohol. I think that's a common thing for Thai and Korean.
Yeah, but I heard this sentiment that in Korea it's almost like frowned upon or kind of like sad for you to eat alone, and it's almost like a rule that you shouldn't pour soju for yourself, right? Is that a thing?
Oh yes.
Yeah, can you talk a bit about that?
Yeah. So basically, when you go drink with your friend, and if you pour your own glass, they will be like, don't do that. It's considered something that only lonely people would do, right?
So it's very much like you have to be eating and drinking with other people all the time.
Yeah, it used to be like that, but I think it's slowly changing because I would say compared to Thai culture, Koreans are more collectivist.
Really?
Yes.
Do you think so?
Yes, they put importance in being in a group, being in certain sense of having that sense of belonging to a certain group. Whereas Thai people, I would say, are comparably more individualistic compared to
Interesting.
Korean.
From your observations?
Yes, maybe I'm overgeneralizing, but that's how I usually feel. Yeah,
For
about
sure.
this topic. Yeah.
I mean, I have heard like people are more strict and more like care about what other people think, maybe a little bit in Korea. And other than that, something else I wanted to ask you is about like seniority in workplace. I've heard that it's very extreme in Korea, right? Like the hierarchy or seniority when it comes to working. Do you think it's different, the culture there and here?
Yes. So the really big difference when I first started working at Thai Samsung, I was shocked because even at workplace, even though it's directors or head of director, you call them P. In the workplace, everyone calls you P. So I was like, what? How can you do that? Because in Korea, you have the title, right?
You think P is too casual?
Yeah, I thought that clearly showed the difference between the how much emphasis of seniority you put in the workplace.
So the title in Korean, what does it like translate to?
Usually like a head of part, head of group, head of team,
So
something
to
like
refer to them, it would be like their title and then their name.
Yes, usually.
And here is like Pijon.
Yes. Yes.
So that's like some of the differences that you see?
Yes. So that shows how much emphasis the Korean culture put on the seniority. It's based on the Confucius values because it's deeply rooted in Korean culture. So it's normal, but some of the global companies, they're starting to change to make organization more horizontal than vertical. They're adapting a lot of new systems.
Interesting. Like you said, Samsung can be like very efficient because of its vertical system, right?
Yes.
But what do you think is some positives of trying to go more horizontal too?
I think if you go for horizontal, that means people are willing to put more opinion they're more there to express their opinion and their thoughts, right? So you're not afraid of a person who's higher than you saying that it's wrong, it's a bad idea. The more horizontal it is, I would say it's more creative and more direct the communication could be. And I think sometimes when the business grows to a certain size, I think efficiency is also a key.
For sure.
But creativity to actually build a new product and new functions and stuff, I think there will be a time that those values becomes very, very important. And I think that's what many of the Korean companies, including Samsung, is facing.
Yeah, interesting. And next thing I want to talk to you about is language. So you've been here for like 20 years now. พูดภาษาไทยพอได้ไหมครับ
ได้นิดหน่อยครับ
โอ้แต่ว่าทุกวันที่ทำงานก็ต้องพูดภาษาไทย
ต้องพูดภาษาไทยครับ
โอ้โหแล้วรู้สึกว่าภาษาไทยนี่ยากไหมครับ
โอ้ยากมากๆเลยครับ โดนบูลลี่จากลูกน้องทีมทุกวันนะครับว่าจอห์นพูดไม่ชัดเลยเนาะ อยู่มานานแค่ไหนก็พูดไม่ชัด
มากแล้วนี่เขายังบอกว่าไม่ชัดเหรอครับ
ไม่ครับไม่
ว้าวแล้วผมก็ได้ยินมาว่าแบบคนบอกว่าเรียนภาษาเกาหลีง่ายแล้วคิดว่าภาษาเกาหลีกับภาษาไทยนี่อะไรยากกว่ากันไหมครับหรือมันก็ยากพอๆกัน
ภาษาเกาหลีนะครับอ่านกับเขียนนะครับง่ายมากเลยนะครับเพราะว่าภาษามัน systemize ดีมากแต่ภาษาไทยนะครับเขียนกับอ่านยากมากแต่พูดกับฟังนะครับจะง่ายกว่าหน่อย
ครับแล้วทุกวันนี้หรือว่าเมื่อก่อนนี้คุณจอห์นแบบเรียนภาษาไทยยังไงครับแบบไปเรียนพิเศษหรือเปล่าหรือว่า
อายนิดนึงครับแต่ผมไม่เคยเรียนภาษาไทย
ว้าว
ผมอาจจะต้องตั้งใจเรียนภาษาไทย
แล้วนี่ก็คือมาจากชีวิตประจำวันเหรอครับที่เรียนมาเนี่ย
ใช่ครับมาจากเรียนมาจากเพื่อนเรียนมาจากงานที่ทำงานอย่างนี้มากกว่าครับ
That's super dope. Do you ever see yourself like actually taking classes?
Yeah, every time I have this conversation, I'll be like, yes, I have to try hard to learn Thai. So yes.
But I'm sure it's already at like a good enough level that you can communicate in your day to day, right?
Yeah, day to day, no problem. But I want to understand more. I want to go deeper with connecting with Thai people. So yes, I
for sure.
Yes.
Next thing I want to talk to you, kind of boy stuff. I don't know if you're much of a gamer, but I know in Korea, gaming culture is huge. When I was in America, all of my Korean friends are the ones that turned me into gamers, League of Legends, for example. So I wanted to ask you, like, the internet gaming cafe culture, and nowadays, like, even Samsung has, like, a lot of esports teams and, like, almost all of the big games.
Yes.
So have you been involved in that at all? How do you feel about that?
I used to be a huge gamer. I mean, it's my generation that went through the PC bound culture. It was early 2000-ish when there was a huge boom with the games from Blizzard. Like, for example,
World of Warcraft?
World of Warcraft, StarCraft, Diablo 2. So, yes, I also spent a really good amount of time. And League of Legends as well.
You play League too?
Yes. I'm quite toxic as well, but anyway. So I spent good amount of time and money in PC Bang as well. And I think as you mentioned it, the reason why Koreans are really good at esports is that the whole PC Bang culture and go playing game with your friend that cultivated to produce some of the well-organized and well-structured gaming industry and professional gamers and stuff.
And how does society view this? Like, because there's like esports now, are people starting to see that gaming is like a viable career path or things like that in Korea?
Yes, of course. It's very viable because there are successful cases. Like for example, Faker. Yeah, going on that. Yes, but they're also aware of the fact that if you want to be a professional gamer, then you're going to be in a really big competition because there are so many gamers out there, but it's only very few who succeed and who are on top.
Right. Wow. And for you, did you ever have any aspirations that you want to play games professionally when you were a kid?
I had a good self-actualization since I was a kid. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm not good at this enough to be a
And one thing
gamer.
I want to ask you is, why do you think Korean gamers are so toxic?
Oh, I mean, maybe it has to do with the nationality.
Wow.
Or maybe it's just a mental game. I would say that's what makes them excel at games.
Because they take it so seriously, right?
Yes, they take it seriously and they are aggressive in a both good and a bad way. So I think it's connected, right? If you're aggressive, then more likely chance that you have some of the toxic traits. So I guess that's the reason.
Wow, okay, so PC bang, let's talk about the next bang, Jimjo bang.
Yes.
I've seen those in series and movies all the time. It looks so cool. So it's like a sauna that you can sleep over.
Yes.
Right? Can you tell me a bit about that?
Just like PC Bang, I spent good amount of time in Jimje Bang when I was young.
Even kids like go to Jimjo bang?
Yeah. So basically when you hang out with your friends and when the last train ends at like 12, so you cannot go back to your home because the taxi in Korea is so expensive. So it's actually cheaper to sleep in Jimje Bang.
Really? Like
yes.
Per night, how many baht would that be like on average?
I would say, I'm not sure about now, but back then it used to be around like 1,500 baht, 1,000
per
baht.
night?
Yeah, so it's actually much cheaper to just sleep and then wait for the first train and go back. But of course, there's a whole culture behind Jimje Bang.
Yeah, tell me about it.
I would say it's awkward place because it's a public, it's a public sauna. So you go in there, you see everyone naked. I didn't feel anything was weird until I live here for a long time. And then when I was young, I didn't feel anything about seeing all these guys naked.
Because it's just normal there.
Yeah, it's normal there. But then after I lived in Thailand for a few years, I went back like, oh, okay, maybe I've changed now. I don't feel comfortable in front of this naked guy. But anyway, it also has a lot of good memories with my dad as well.
Oh, your dad likes to
going to Jimje Sabang sauna with my dad and get a lot of heat. Come out and you're all dehydrated and
you have to sleep, right?
And you have to sleep.
Really?
Yes. So before you go to sleep, you have this boiled egg, which is I don't know why it tastes especially good in Jimjilbang, and you have this Korean rice drink called shike with the ice in it, and then you take a shot of
like a shot?
shike. Yeah, take a shot of it, and you feel your body hydrating after getting a scrub as well, and you feel a little bit tired. It's a perfect condition for a nap. So after that, you go to a place where you can sleep.
And everybody's like sleeping together, right?
Oh yeah. Everyone's just laying on the floor, just sleeping. And then you find your spot, and then you take a nap. You wake up, you feel fresh, you feel great. Go on with your day.
Do you miss it?
I don't really miss it anymore because I guess I have enough money now to actually get on a taxi and go back home rather than sleeping in public. But I miss the time where I used to spend time in Jimjilbang with my friends and my dad. Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
The next big thing I want to talk to you, big change last year, is the Korean age.
Oh yes, finally, yes.
Yeah, so the Korean age, like, what even is the point of that? And do you know a bit about the history? Like, why did they finally decide to get rid of it?
Okay. So the background of it, I actually went through it before because I was also curious. There are many theories, but there are one theory that says, okay, so you have to be in your mom's womb for 10 months before, right? So basically Koreans are counting ever since the life is there. So when you come out, it's almost 10 months already. So it's considered, okay, you're born, you're one year old. And also there's another theory where when they first started counting, there was no Arabic number of zero. So there was a concept of zero, but there was no zero. So you cannot give age of zero to person who's just born. So okay, we'll count from one. Okay, that's those two theories are what I found on the online. I'm not sure if it's true or not, but I think it makes sense.
That's so interesting. And do you think now that they get rid of it, is it gonna structurally change a lot of Korea? Like maybe like for official stuff, like it must be like a big change, right? Or not really?
I don't think it's how much is going to have an impact.
Like culturally, what about culturally?
Oh, culturally, I'm not sure. But I would say it will slowly shift to seniority getting less and less important, right? Because in Korea, you you're quite strict with seniority. So grade who's older than you have to call them hyung or Nuna, P basically, right? So now if they start to count as a birthday, then he is older than me 3 months, but he's calling me hyung. But that guy is younger than me 6 months, but we're friends, so it's gonna get
it doesn't make
awkward.
sense.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how much of influence it will have, but I think I don't know. In terms of seniority, I think it's gonna be thinned out a little bit with this new age.
That's great. Another thing I wanted to ask you, because you've actually grew up here and experienced like the Thai educational system, but something that a lot of Thais know about Korean educational system is like how tough it is, how rigorous it is, like Sunung exam. You didn't have to take that.
Yes, luckily I didn't have to take that.
Do you have any stories or anything you know about that?
But one thing for sure is that it puts a lot of pressure on high school students because basically, have you watched the Sky Castle?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so basically, Korean society still put a lot of emphasis on the higher education. So even though it's not true, they put a lot of judgment on what kind of university they went to.
So what are like the top ones in Korea that people...
So Sky, Seoul National, Korea, and Yonsei, and KAIST, those are like...
So it's like you have to get into those top ones.
You have to, but you can't, right? Because it's really difficult to get into those universities. So one of the few ways to get into those good universities are you have to get a good grading in Suneung, so you have to be in top percentile in order to get into those universities. And it puts a lot of pressure on students.
Because it's only like once a year, right?
You can't take the exam many times as you want, but because Koreans, part of them is that they want to know where they stand in the society. And they usually compare, I'm same age as them, but I have to retake the exam again. So they feel like they wasted a year or two if they have to take more Suneung.
That's why it's so much pressure, right?
Yes.
And like on the day of the exam, I heard that like stores close down.
Yes.
Right. People like try to accommodate for the exam.
Right. So the whole society it's going to be concentrated on that Suneung and they try not to make noises. They try to even the police officers sometimes they have to take emergency shift just so that they can safely transport the student to the designated school and stuff. Yes.
Wow, that's so interesting. And I know even though you didn't experience it, do you think compared to like how hard it is to get into like Jula, for example, it's probably like a whole different world, right, in Korea?
Yeah, I would say it's a bit different. I think for Jula, I think you can either enter from Thai faculty or international faculty, and I think you are given with more choices. But in Korea, let's say if you want to enter Seoul National, there are only few ways to get in, and Suneung is one of the major ones. So I would say Koreans' entrance exams are much more competitive, and they cut much more of a lower percentile who can enter the university to compare to, let's say, Jula or Thammasat.
Like lower acceptance rate?
Lower acceptance rate.
I see. Another big thing that Thai people are super curious about Korean culture, and not just Thai people around the world, is like the compulsory military conscription. How do you feel about that? Do you have to do that?
Yeah. I've already been into military. I served for almost 2 years.
Wow, so you had to do it.
Yes, of course.
How do you feel about it? It's such a big topic nowadays because like especially when it comes to K-pop, some people think that some people should be exempt, right? Because like we have athletes like Heung Min Son who doesn't have to do it. So how do you feel about that? And you've gone through that yourself too.
So the statistic shows that only about 15% of male population over age of 19 is exempted from the military.
15.
Only 15%. So the only few of the cases where you'll be exempted are where you have a disability or you're physically or mentally handicapped. That's going to be only few conditions. Or like case like Son Heung-min, if you can get a gold medal or if you can win a World Cup or something like that, then you can be exempted from the military.
Then do you know like about like the BTS case? Like why do they still choose to do it?
I think if you give exemption to too many cases, then I think it can bring up the inequality issue, right? How do you actually define who did a lot for a country and who did not do a lot for a country that they should be exempted?
So that's something that Korean people are always going to like debate about, right?
Yes, even for the BTS case and even for some of the footballers, it has been a lot of debates on it, right? Especially it's only 15% of male who's getting exempted. So it's a sensitive issue.
Right.
But I myself been through it and I've had a lot of great experience. I think I grew up as a person a lot after you experiencing that whole military culture because sometimes life is not fair. Sometimes you have to be okay with the fact that doing things that other people just tell you to do as well, and you learn a lot from it too.
What are some good things that you've learned from having to serve in the military for 2 years?
For example, physically, before I entered the military, I was only like 55 kilograms. I was underweight, but the moment I entered the military, I gained like 6 kilos in 3 months because it teaches you how to be disciplined. It teaches you how to sleep at the same time, wake up at the same time, and eat at the same time.
Oh, and since you left that life, you still think it carries on into your daily routine?
Yes, of course, because I've seen the good part of it. Okay, having a strong routine, having a good discipline in your life really excels you in a certain aspects of life.
So you don't feel like you wasted 2 years or anything like that?
No, it totally depends on the person's attitude towards it. Some people say, I wasted 2 years in military just doing nothing. Or some people say, okay, even though I was forced to enter it, but I felt and learned a lot. So I guess it depends on the person's attitude rather than the experience of military itself.
And another thing I wanted to ask you, since you've been in Thailand for so long, and you know, you've seen since the early 2000s until now how Thai society has become more and more in love with Korean culture, right? I remember since I was born, like Korean culture was really big, but it's nowhere near how massive it is now, right? I have all of my friends that I know that are Thai, especially girls, are completely obsessed with K-pop, K-drama, like just being here in Thailand as a Korean person. How do you feel like seeing how much Thai society is obsessed with Korean culture?
At least for sure, it's certain for me that it's great for me.
It's beneficial for you?
Indirectly it benefits me. But it's good thing because cultural influence is such a strong influence, and it feels great to see that Thai people are in love with the Korean culture, and some of Koreans who also love Thai culture as well. So I would love to see it going both way.
For sure.
For example, like there has been a really big trend in Korea where they do 1 month living in Chiang Mai.
Oh,
yes,
that's a trend right now?
There used to be trend. I'm not sure if it's now, but
tell me about it.
Yeah, so university students, when they have a vacation or before they get a job, what they will do is they will stay in Chiang Mai for 1 month.
Really?
They will just trial and leave. And I've heard many great stories about it. They love the slow going life. They love Thai culture. They love Thai food. So I wish those kind of opportunities could actually put a lot of good influence in Korean culture as well.
And like I say, like Thai people generally kind of, you know, look up to or think Korean people are great. And what do Korean people generally think about Thai people? Like what, you can talk about some of your like preconceived notions before you moved here. Like what are some things that Korean people think about Thai?
Of course, they have a good perception towards Thai people.
Really?
For example, now some of the Thai culture and Thai influencers or Thai superstars, they have a big impact on a Korean culture as well. For example, Blackpink, Lisa is a great example. Very successful Thai, but she was able to go that big because of some of the fundamentals that Koreans provided with her, the opportunity to grow as a Blackpink, as a part of Korean Idol. So I think there are a lot of mutual positivity between Thai people and the Korean people.
And are Korean people aware that other countries in Asia, especially Thailand, like love their culture so much?
I guess they do because Netflix and Disney, they have so much of Korean series and Korean superstars are famous in Asia and even Europe and America. So I guess they're well aware.
Do you have any of your own theories or opinions as to why Korean media is so like loved in Thai society?
Oh. I'm not a big consumer of the media, so I'm not sure. But I think it has to do with the similarity, partly similar and partly different. Koreans, we are Asian, just like Thai people, but there are so many different thoughts and feeling and behavior to it. So I guess you feel connected. At the same time, I think you can get some new experience and new thoughts and new philosophy with looking at Korean cultures. So I think that's a part of it.
For sure. And I think Thai people really value how much Korean has done with their soft power, right? With their influence around the world. And I think our government is trying to push that for ourselves as well. So we're trying to follow you guys in terms of being able to have like an impact and an influence on the world. So you've been in Thailand since 2002, but have you like gone back and forth between here and Korea, or you mostly just stay here?
I mostly stay here, but I would say once a year or twice a year, I would go back to Korea.
Because do you still have some family back there?
Yes, exactly. I have my families there, my parents and my younger sister there. So I have to go back to meet them time to time.
So what would you say is like the biggest thing that you miss about Korea when you're living here in Thailand?
Obviously, my family. That's of course, the most thing that I miss about Korea. I miss my family. I love spending time with them.
And what about like the city, the country, anything itself?
I mean, city is beautiful, but Bangkok is also a beautiful city, so I don't feel like I'm lacking a certain thing about city that makes me miss Seoul, let's say. But it's my family, and I would say time to time it's the food. I miss the food. I mean, even though I love Thai food, I'm originated from Korea, so my tongue, they desire Korean food time to time. Yes.
Are you able to find good Korean food here?
Oh, yes, but that's a great thing. Bangkok has one of the great Korean restaurants that can fill up my desire.
Is it authentic? Does it feel authentic?
There are authentic Korean restaurants, of course. Yes, there are many actually, which has a great authentic Korean food. Yes.
And one thing I wanted to ask you is, I actually wanted to travel to Korea soon, but from like a Thai stereotype, I've heard that people go there, like if you're really into like dramas, you will go visit the places that they shot, right? But if I'm not too big into series, like what would you recommend a person go do for like a couple of days in Korea?
If it's a couple of days, I mean, you have a lot of fun drinking there.
Really?
Yes, the
you
drinking
recommend like
culture.
going experience the nightlife?
Yeah, for sure.
Is it hard to get into clubs as a foreigner? Because I heard that can happen in some countries.
It happens with the Korean too. I mean, I got rejected too.
Really? Even as a Korean?
Yeah. I got rejected pretty recently. Actually, I went to a club. I gave them my ID, and then they were like, "Oh, you're old." I'm like, "Oh, yo, calm down."
So they don't let you in if they think you're too old?
They have an age cut. Sometimes if you're not properly dressed, they'll reject you. But I mean, you're still young, you're good looking, and I'm pretty sure you'll be well dressed. Don't worry about it. So maybe you can go try some nightlife in Itaewon, or you can hop bars around Shinsadong and stuff. I think there are a lot of cool pubs, very indie. They have like DJ station. You love Korea if you are into drinking.
Yeah, do they open till late? Because in Thailand now it still closes at everything like 2.
Yeah, that's the thing. So in Korea, if you want to drink until 8 a.m., you can't do it.
Wow, they're
Yes.
open until like early morning.
Yes. So you drink until the first train comes up at 6 a.m. You drink until 6 a.m. and then you take the first train and go home. You can do that.
That sounds fun. But other than going out to party, like tourist stuff, anything you recommend?
Yeah, there are a lot of great parks in Korea. For example, now it's Olympic season, and there is a park called Olympic Park. And it's in the middle of city, and it has really nice hills. You can have a really great view. The air is great there, so you can pay a visit to those kind of places as well.
So yeah, we've covered so many things today, and I just kind of wanted to leave you off with: have you ever thought about like what do you dream of? What is like something you want to see in the future? What is like a goal for you, short term, long term? Just what do you dream of in general?
In general, of course, I want to leave a positive trace. Like I want to make people around me to be more positive, more open-minded, and more kind to other people. So that creates a whole chain impact of starting with me and spreading through many people to make world a better place. And yeah, and I want to make people around me to become more happy. Yeah.
And would you recommend your fellow Koreans to maybe come and work here, live here?
I mean, of course, if they're not conditioned, if they don't have any limitation, of course, living in abroad, especially a warm and kind country like Thailand, is definitely going to be a great experience. I would strongly recommend.
Well, thank you so much, Pichon. I feel like I learned so much about you today. I learned so much about Korean culture, about what it's like to work at Samsung. And, you know, I could totally see us being friends, even with you say like the age gap and stuff. But yeah, you're a super chill guy. And I just want to say thank you so much for everything. And yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for today. I had such a great time.
For sure. ขอบคุณมากครับ